Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So today I'm going to make a cheesesteak. And what can you say about the cheesesteak? It is one of the best sandwiches, just hot and gooey and so much flavor. But there are a couple things that you need to make a really good cheesesteak. Number one is the bread. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area and I've had a few cheesesteaks here. I really have just stopped trying because they just can't get the bread right. I don't know what it is. So that's sort of been my little project the past few weeks is working on making really good rolls. I made a new batch today and they are really good. I already had one. So I'm going to see how it holds up on a cheesesteak. The bread needs to be crunchy, slightly crunchy on the outside, and soft inside. So it's not hard all the way through. And it also needs to be strong enough to hold everything that you put inside of it because cheesesteaks really are filled to the brim. Steak and cheese and onions, and then you get hot peppers or sometimes sweet peppers, mushrooms, whatever. You can put anything on a cheesesteak. So you need a really good roll. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is the nice sliced beef, which I can get from Trader Joe's. So thank you, Trader Joe's. So it's pretty simple, just a few simple ingredients. The prep is not that complicated, but I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm sure everybody has their own way of making a cheesesteak. Living in the Philadelphia, South Jersey area, we didn't really make them that much. My sister makes cheesesteaks. She thinks hers are the best. Um, but we didn't really make cheesesteaks at home. You just go and get one. There were so many places where you could just order a cheesesteak. There was a kind of like a pizza place right across from my high school where we would get cheesesteaks. All right, so I'm going to show you how I do it, and then we'll try it. We'll see how good it is. Okay, so I had a little technical problem here. I'm going to narrate this. So here are the ingredients. I'm going to start with an onion. I like fried onions on my cheesesteaks. On the East Coast, we call them fried onions. Here they call them grilled onions for some reason. I'm not sure why. Um, but anyway, you can get fried onions or you can skip the onions. I'm using a vegetable oil here. This is the beef that I get from Trader Joe's, so it's just a nice sliced beef. I use it for cheesesteaks. I've also made like sukiyaki or beef udon, so it's really nice. This is my roll. So I made a new batch of rolls today. I'm still working on it, but they're coming out really well. This time I added a little bit of sugar to the yeast when I was proofing it. I think it's beautiful. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to work with a cheesesteak. So the secret to the roll is you have a slight crunch on the outside, soft on the inside, and it needs to be strong enough to hold everything. Okay, next I have some provolone cheese. You can put any kind of cheese. I usually make my cheesesteaks with American cheese. In Philly, you can get them with Cheese Whiz, which is really delicious, but also maybe not the healthiest thing. It's gooey, it's creamy, it mixes in with the meat and the fat, and it's so delicious. So you can use whatever kind of cheese you want. I have salt, pepper, some hot peppers. These are hot banana peppers and some ketchup. All right, so my pan was heating up. I'm going to start with some oil. Not a lot of oil, but because I'm going to fry the onions, I want enough oil in there for the onions. And the meat is going to give off some fat too. So I'm going to turn this down to medium heat. Add the onions. And I want them to fry, not burn. So you want to keep an eye on them. You want to get, kind of a light brownish caramelization on them. That's where you're going to get your flavor. So this will probably take about 5 minutes for them to get to the point that I want them to, because the heat it's medium, so it's a pretty strong heat. I like to salt my onions, so I'm going to add some salt here. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. The onions are starting to turn brown. I'm going to add my beef. So I'm going to use about a half of a package. It's a lot for one person. You could probably get 3 or maybe even 4 cheesesteaks out of one of these packages. I'm only using a half of an onion because it's just for me, but if you're going to use the whole package, I would use a whole onion and the whole package. So you can kind of break up the meat. You can keep the pieces whole, whatever you want. I personally like it when my meat is chopped up a little bit. Add a little bit more salt, some pepper. Smells great. This doesn't take very long. As you can see, the heat is still medium heat. So you don't need a super high heat, but it cooks pretty fast. All right, so for one cheesesteak, I'm just gonna get it together in the center of the pan. If you're making several, then you'll make several piles. I'm gonna add my hot peppers now, just because my roll is still not really a perfect cheesesteak roll. So this way I can get everything mixed together. The hot peppers are nice. These are not super hot peppers. Usually I would use like cherry peppers. These are hot banana peppers. But you get a nice texture from them, and also that little bit of vinegar kind of breaks up the flavor of the sandwich. I'm using provolone cheese, so I'll just put a couple slices on top. So at this point, you're just waiting for the cheese to melt, and it's ready. So I'll put my roll on top. So preferably you're using a fresh roll. You don't have to heat it up, but this will warm the roll slightly, and also this helps the cheese to melt. All right, so let's see what we got. Okay, here it is. It's a lot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to close this roll, but it smells delicious and it looks great. All right, here it is. Our cheesesteak, just filled to the brim. My roll is perfect. It's still not a Philly roll, but the good thing is it's holding everything. That's the test. I mean, this thing is just juicy and greasy and filled. Mm, so good. It's pretty messy. It's a great sandwich. What can I say? I'm going to be in Philly in a couple weeks, so I definitely will be getting some real cheesesteaks. But this is pretty close. So it's as good as it gets. The hot peppers add a really nice flavor to the whole thing. I could eat this every day. Fortunately, I won't. So that's it. Try it. Let me know what you think. If you've ever had a cheesesteak, where did you have one? What did you think? I'm going to be, when I'm traveling, I'm going to be doing some reviews of different places. So maybe I'll check out a couple of the best cheesesteak places in Philly. I was never a cheesesteak snob. I just went wherever was closest. Never really had a problem. The bread is everywhere. They all get the bread. So you don't have a problem with the bread. The hot peppers, everybody has the right hot peppers. So that's it. I'm going to be making another video once I get the rolls perfected. So stay tuned for that. And who else? Who knows what else we're going to cook up in Appa's kitchen? That's all for today. Bye.